Hey there, friends and enemies. Joper here again, and Arekkz Gaming just dropped a new video on Chrono Odyssey, a game I am very much anticipating. It's coming to PC, Xbox, and PlayStation 5, which is awesome. It's an MMORPG, and this video is on classes, world bosses, and weapon switching. Now, first and foremost, go check out Arekkz Gaming if you haven't already. Subscribed to the channel. They are tremendous, and I definitely look to them for a lot of news on games that I am potentially interested in. So I love reacting to their videos because they have so much useful insight and new content to go over. So let's check out the gameplay and see what the hype is all about.
Here are some in-engine gameplay clips for Chrono Odyssey.
Looks like a world boss there.
Based MMORPG from NPixel. You may remember a few months ago we covered the reveal for this awesome and surprising game, and we promised to keep you guys up to date on all of the new
that sword looks sick.
For it. And
yeah, these weapons are awesome.
The media team have recently released some more gameplay clips of the game itself and even the different classes, so let's go through them. This first clip shows a battle between the warrior class and what we are speculating is a boss or mini-boss. You can really see the more action-focused combat in motion here, as it very much looks like a modern action game in terms of its gameplay rather than that of a traditional MMORPG. The developer...
Yeah, one of the nice things about this game so far from what I've seen is it's almost like, what if you took something like Elden Ring type, obviously this isn't Elden Ring specifically, but took that into an MMORPG setting and how difficult that would be. So that has me very excited because I do think there's a lot of potential there with this type of gameplay that is going to invite players who are not really fans of just the cooldown swapping ability usage of a traditional MMO.
Haven't released any information about how different the classes will play, but the clip is very telling on the different concepts of
shield heavy for sure.
You can see that this warrior class, which is called the swordsman, will probably be our tank class, as the majority of the gameplay is focused on blocking attacks, but they are able to do a mix of sword and shield based attacks outside of that. The shield in particular seems to glow as you execute an attack, so maybe there's some type of additional damage like a stagger or stun being done like in other games.
Yeah, or if it gets buffed from blocking.
So don't worry if you aren't too familiar with the game.
This looks gorgeous, by the way.
Recap at the end of the video, but if you are liking the look of the game or just looking for a new MMORPG, then hit like down below on the video and let us know what you think about these clips and the game itself. This clip is actually insane. As
this dragon, all these players is wild.
And a bunch of players taking it on. The developers have said that this is a world boss raid and we will have to team up to increase our chances. This time the video is showcasing the sorceress, and the boss in the video seems to be our favorite manta ray dragon boss style thing that we saw before in the
this is so sick.
Awesome in of itself, and what's surprising about it is for something so big it's also very mobile. As you can see, it do this Tokyo drift style Beyblade 360 spin move, and it has the ability to create portals. If we slow it down, you can see some of the attacks the boss are doing are very unique, as it shoots laser beams through a portal to create additional laser beams that players...
Oh, that's kind of fire. I like that a lot.
Seems to be a guardian, which are greater beings that have been pulled from other worlds to then oversee this world, Cetera, or it could just be a member of the Void, which are basically this game's big bad. In this next clip, we get to see what we expect is the Paladin class in action, and it looks to have some moves that are glowing golden and yellow, which is usually an indication
that spear is kind of fire.
Plus, in every game with a Paladin, they normally have a spell that creates some sort of shield around them.
Yeah, that's what that looked like.
Interestingly, the Paladin in this has two weapons, which is the mace and the other being the lance. We are, however,
I do like the lance a lot.
If you're able to play any weapon with any class or if they are class specific. This is because in the original trailer we saw a player dodge an attack and then transform classes into a sorceress. What we do know is that weapon switching
that would be sick.
The gameplay, as the developers have said this in the past. Quote, make your combat style your own with Chrono Odyssey's weapon switching system. Each character can equip two weapons at once, providing opportunities for dynamic, personalized gameplay, end quote.
Yeah, that'll be very good.
The armor definitely looks very awesome in this, and this is something for me that has been missing in a lot of more looter-based games recently, where usually you end up farming armor that doesn't even look good. But for this next clip, we're sticking with the Paladin because it shows it off again, and this one has the Paladin taking on the world boss. The actual description of this clip says, take aim to deal critical hits, watch how the paladin handles against a world boss. Critical hits are normally pretty straightforward.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I do like that gameplay more than just the shield one.
You can see them highlighting the paladin hitting the head area in particular. That makes us think maybe it's more so of a system where larger enemies have hit zones that can then proc critical hits.
Yeah, that's probably likely.
You have to focus on where you're attacking or aiming, which makes for a more engaging system in combat and will make positioning much more important. But there isn't just things against large-scale raid bosses, there's also clips that highlight smaller-scale party-based raids against different monsters. This time we see a party of 5 taking on a monster that looks like it could have been pulled straight out of Monster Hunter with something like
that's what that looked like for me too.
Flip attack and roar right after. We can also see more of the sorceress and the defensive skills that it has to offer. I love the animations for when it's spell casting and the book flipping between pages.
So that's a great point for me, is that just the animations, the variety of spells, all of that is going to be absolutely massive. I am leaning towards a spellcaster for this game, just from what I've seen so far. The paladin looks enticing, but like having every ability look like it flows in the game is something that'll be difficult in an MMO when you've got so much going on. You've got all these different players, especially in like the world boss raid. So how they pull that off is going to be intriguing. I have concerns because it feels like there's the potential for a lot of hiccups, but if they do this right, this could be an absolute game changer of an MMO.
Really clean, and the class has quite a bit of mobility as well. Being able to
the teleport is awesome
always
too.
A concern for spellcasters if they're not mobile enough, because usually they're kind of like glass cannons. And in this next clip, we can see more of the sorceress's offensive abilities, with them being able to cast different elemental effects such as fire and ice. The ice spells seem to be able to not only deal damage but also freeze enemies, and hopefully the game has a wide variety of spells so that players like us can create our own playstyle. And next we have one of the coolest looking classes, which we know a lot.
I know a lot of people are going to love this one.
And that is this next clip of the Assassin class. Not only does this show some of the awesome...
I think this is going to be a fan favorite.
Assassin in action, but it also shows the weapon switching mechanic of the Assassin, where you're able to switch from close range dual blades to a ranged option using a gun. From the original gameplay trailer, it looks like those two weapons won't be the only options that you will have, as we did see a player using a different version of the dual blades with a different stance and attacks. We have seen the Assassin, but
that big sword, it looks pretty sick too.
Which in Chrono Odyssey will be more of your traditional archer class. So if you aren't feeling the ranged gunner style of the Assassin or the magical options of the sorceress, then an archer might be for you. Interestingly, it has a mix of both ranged and close range options, which isn't usually the case for an archer-based class.
Almost like Legolas.
This is the benefit of the weapon switching system, as it allows for a bit more freedom. You can see that the game doesn't look like it uses tab targeting, as the player is having to physically aim at each enemy as they are being approached. Before we get into this last clip, we wanted to give you the quick recap we promised for Chrono Odyssey if you've missed it in the past. It's an upcoming MMORPG for both consoles and PC, and the world
looks gorgeous, man.
Don't worry, you'll be able to navigate the world with time-based powers and other powerful abilities. There's 6 classes in total to choose from the swordsman to the paladin, the ranger, the sorcerer, the berserker, and the assassin, and the game is being developed on Unreal Engine 5.
I really want to see the berserker.
So good graphically. The catch of this is that it's being developed by a relatively unknown Korean studio called Pixel. So while the gameplay and trailer look good, there has been a trend of these types of games being vaporware recently, or just not hitting the quality mark when it actually releases, but the gameplay...
That's what I'm worried about. That's what I was saying earlier.
Quite good. And the game
enemies look good.
Far along in its development, as it has been being developed for the last few years already, and they are mostly showing in-engine gameplay now, so it's looking like it's a positive, but do let us know what you're thinking.
So that's the biggest thing for me, is that it is in-engine gameplay. It does look like there's a lot. Like they've shown not only regular fights, mini boss fights, regular boss fights, world boss fights, all 6 classes of gameplay. How it functions from moment to moment is going to be very important. But I do feel like, based on games we've seen before that are just primarily just like capture footage, just like cinematography, essentially, like cutscenes and the like. This one looks a lot farther along with the actual gameplay. And so that's one of the reasons I'm most excited about this one, because it does feel like the potential is there, and they didn't just announce this when it's like 4 years out. They've been working on it for years before we actually see it hands-on.
This game after seeing the clips down below. Do you think we will ever get a really good MMO like we used to back in the golden years? But for this last clip, it's actually about the sounds that come along with it. It's the only clip with full gameplay sounds, so we are going to let this one play out for you so you can hear the sounds for yourself, and then the other clips
Ooh, I'm excited about that.
in all of their glory.
Okay, that was sick. That time mechanic looks like it's gonna be wild. Music is really good. Again, that little portal laser breath is pretty awesome. There are indicators on the ground like you would normally see from a game like this when you're in the danger zone. It teleported, okay. Yeah, mostly blocking here. Again, I wonder if it charges up, like if you block enough, if it'll juice your attack. Not having, so on controller, one of the problems may be whether there's a targeting system and you can actually lock on to enemies, because that's going to be a problem with how easy it is to target enemies in a game like this for sure. Alright, these are all just with the music is good, but these are all just the clips going forward. I think that's most of the rest of the video as well. I don't want to miss anything, but I also don't want to go. Yeah, we already watched all that stuff. Okay, overall, I think this game is fire looking. It looks like it's potentially going to be one of like a genre-changing type of game, right? We don't know how that's going to work out. We've seen other games that are more action-oriented MMOs not work out in the past, so it's not like this is a guaranteed hit. However, graphically, it looks fantastic. Gameplay-wise, it looks like it has the potential to be a lot of fun. How deep the layers are to the customization is going to be a major question and something that I think is going to be important. The story, not super important to everybody when playing an MMO, but it'll need to make sense. It'll need to be gripping to a degree. And overall, I think the gameplay, as long as it's fun and it keeps you engaged and there's reasons to keep chasing things like new gear, new upgrades, leveling your character, all that kind of stuff you would need from an RPG, this could be a really absolute fantastic game. So I'm excited about it. I'd love to hear from you guys. What are you most or least excited about? What you've seen from Chrono Odyssey so far? What game or what of this game are you expecting? Are you thinking this game is going to be a hit? Do you have the idea that this is going to have a ton of potential, or are you a little bit more cautiously optimistic? Love to hear from you guys. Hit the like button if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel. Helps me out tremendously. Go check out Arekkz Gaming if you have not previously. My name is Joe. I hope you have a good one. I'll catch you all